I probably, when I was in college in Boston, I had all these credit cards, and I was putting myself through school, and I had very little scholarship money, and it was an expensive program. And I might have rung up a few of the cards carelessly. But you know, you make mistakes, and I've since you know, remedied the situation.
I would imagine it was a little easier to remedy it when you're sitting on Broadway starring in a show than it is when you're trying to get here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all make mistakes, and I think that's part of the system, the sort of cracks in our system, you know, sort of, you know, handing credit cards away to teenagers, and you know, I think that's part of the whole problem, really. You know, we're running. It was great. This is all, and our parents don't even know what's going on half the time. We're running up debt, you know, before we're 21 years old, and you know, then you're in college, and where do you go from there? You know, you're supposed to start your life there, and you're already, you know, against the wall. Yet you know, they were handing out mortgages to people with six-figure jobs, like left and right, and you know, so. It's a sort of interesting dichotomy.
Are you familiar with Elizabeth Warren, the TARP Oversight Committee chairwoman? She's all the rage right now, talking a lot about debt and banks. And she said in a Talkonomics interview that the banks actually stack the odds against people like you and people like me. Do you think she's right? You think that the banks actually, you know, they're in the business to make money?
Of course they are. You know, they're in business to make money, like we all are, really. And you know, it's unfortunate that we have to do it at the expense of other people sometimes, you know, but that's life, you know, it's survival of the fittest sometimes. So I just try to, you know, keep my act clean and run a clean business and just, you know, make good, solid, hard-working money.
What do you think there are common mistakes that we make, people in general, with our finances or just with, you know, the way we live?
Absolutely, and in particular in the city, you know, it's an expensive place to live, and I think there are times where, you know, let's just say there are a lot of people I know that live an extravagant life that they cannot afford. They simply cannot afford. They have, you know, cars, the expensive apartment, they have all the right bags and shoes, and the guys are, you know, spending money every night of the week. I'm lucky where I'm in a position where I know everywhere I want to go socially, I walk in, I'm not paying. I don't really pay for drinks and a lot of the sort of like extravagancies that that comes with, you know, I don't know, being in your 30s and starring in a cool show.
You're a star, you can say it.
You know, whatnot. So I am able to save in a lot of that. I can't believe how some of my friends or acquaintances spend.
I have friends who do that.
Yeah, they're taking cabs everywhere. They take cabs everywhere. They're not keeping track of anything. They're just running the car. It's madness.
Does it, when you say it's madness, does it frighten you for them? Is it something? What do you think when you see it happening? Do you ever talk to them and say, "Hey, maybe you want to rein it back a bit"?
They see how I do it, you know, and I try to lead by example.
You subway it?
Even the kids here at work, you know, I try to, you know, show them. They know that I'm doing pretty well, and you know, I try to lend my advice here or there, or you know, hopefully they listen.
You know, perseverance is what it's about.
And luck. There's a lot of luck. There's so many talented people out there. I'm no better than all of them, believe me. But I was in the right place at the right time. You know, I have a bit of a story. You know, I worked hard. I took advantage of those opportunities, and I made something of myself. And I, believe me, I still fear for 10 years down the road. Am I still going to be, you know, castable? Am I going to be, you know, relevant enough? Or am I going to sort of, you know, disappear into, you know, just the sort of working man in the background, which would be fine with me. You know, I'm more focused on just doing cool projects and good art and having a family one day than being famous.
But you're also, I mean, I don't want to get too personal with you because I think people's finances are their personal business. But you talked, as we were setting up, about you know, investing and not being frivolous or foolish with what you've got now, you know, planning for when there might be a time when you're not starring on Broadway.
Absolutely, it's important. Yeah, I mean, you have to be smart. I mean, you have to, you know, plan for the future, you know, and I like to surround myself with people that feel the same way, you know, and I hope to find a woman that feels the same way one day, and that, you know, I want to be able to take care of her and my family as best as I can, and my parents are much older now, and you know, I have a brother and sister that are doing pretty well as well, but, you know, there's things to think about down the road, and I certainly am thinking about them already.
One interview I did, and I thought that this man put it very well, that self-worth is more valuable than the money he was earning. What do you think of that?
Well, I think growing up as a proud Greek American and my heritage being a huge part of of who I am, being accepted more by my peers and by my friends at church and the community, they see me as a success. You know, whether I burn out and I have to go work into work in a restaurant again. They are proud of what I've done, and my family.
Are you proud of what you've done?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm always, I keep that pressure on myself, to succeed, and the next thing. I never stay too content, if you know what I mean. I like to stay a little bit hungry. I feel like I'm starting to do that now. I feel like I'm starting to flex muscles that people never got to see of me. I grew up as a theater actor, and I'm excited to have this success. I think when I first came to Broadway a few years ago in another production, people were like, "Oh, sure, he's an American Idol. They'll stick him in the show. They'll sell tickets, whatever." Not realizing, I have, formal training and tons of experience. And I think now with Rock of Ages, people are seeing me in a different way, and the next show, the next project has to be very different for me. Has to be something that's got to cut the hair, got to make a change, and to really show it is show what I do, and I look forward to that.
So as we wrap this up, last thing, the most important thing you'd want people to know, because we always do start talking about money, but there's so much more to you than just the fact that you're successful on Broadway now. What would you want them to know?
I don't know. I mean, people ask me that all the time. I think my true fans, they know a lot about me. They do. They know I'm all about my family. They know that I love what I do, and I love to perform for them and for myself. I love being a part of a great ensemble. I love making records. I want to make more records. I want to break as an original songwriter, whatnot, at radio. I have opportunities coming up to potentially headline this show on the road, bring it across the whole country and all the great cities, and enjoy the success that I've helped garner over the last couple of years here in New York and whatnot. I have my solo project that I do, A Night at the Rock Show. It's gained some great attention here in the city, and I just want to keep working and do good projects. I mean, success is great, but I want to have a family. So, I'm trying to get settled down and make my way towards that. And my parents just celebrated 49 years married, so, I got to get started.